Okay, guys, let's see if we can grab a quick trade, shall we?
Wait. Matron, take them away.
And a warm welcome to one and all. If this is your first time here, I am the big fella. That is the Scruffy Trader. And what I'm trying to do is put trading in the real world. Maybe show you a trick or two along the way. So if that sounds good, do take a second to hit that little subscribe button. Genuinely helps, and we'll crack on. So what am I looking at? Well, I'm looking at euro dollar, and it's been a long old day today. Certainly has, and it's kind of where the coffee's come into play, because we all know Scruffy likes it coffee, and he definitely does today because it's 2 o'clock and I'm only just starting to look to get into the markets. So let me flick this over and we'll go through the drill as always. I have already been talking to the guys this morning. You can see, put the strengths in right the way through the day. So that's the start of the day, and then it switches over into bias, and it's pretty much on the top of each hour. And this is what we're looking at now. Now, the only one that's fired up is euro dollar sell, and it's come up as quite a decent contender. And I have already, sort of in the ideas of the week, posted the idea there. That is there. And earlier on, I did the FTSE for them as well. And it's looking pretty darn ready to rock and roll, to be honest. In fact, it is. So I'm gonna drop an order in to stage. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna sort of hang fire slightly, and I'm going to put it at the top of the current candle. Just a second while I drop that in. There we are. Okay. Now I am going short with this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to sandwich the price if I need to. And what does that mean? It means I've got a big roadblock here, which I want to see breach. But if not, it'll retreat, it'll bounce and come back up. And I'll pick the order up here and I'll run up. So that's the general gist of what I'm doing. So I'll have another order kind of here. Let it run into it. And then that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 orders up to there. Okay, so I'm going to drop that in now. Boom. There we are. All right, so I'm going to move that onto that black line because that line is my kind of entry point, shall we call it. And then we're going to work it to this orange line there. All right. Okay. So my orders are in and I can get a vague idea of what I'm after. All right. But where did the idea come from? That's kind of what you're probably interested in. Well, I always look out at big pictures. So if I go out to the big picture, we're in a daily, and what we can see is it's bouncing off the bottom of this range here. Okay, so this section was a good contender. We can also see the long tail. Now, that didn't catch my eye initially. It was on this time frame. And the time frame was that. That's what's caught my eye. This hammer formation here, or starburst, whatever you want to call it. To me, it's just a long tail, all right? And what it showed me is there was a lot of buying pressure, but it couldn't hold on to it, and it's in the face of a downward move, and the sellers came in and slammed it back down. And not only did they slam it back down, they slammed it down aggressively. Now, there's also another clue to look at as well, because this is the current candle, and it's doing the same thing, which is kind of why I'm willing to stage up. But I want to see which one's going to trigger first, Because if it comes and bounces this, it's going to break through. And that's what I'm after. If it doesn't, I'm quite happy to sort of get an order here and take it down to the black line because I still get paid. Best of both worlds. It's one of the reasons why I split orders up. Makes life so much easier for me. Right. Take this down onto an hourly. Now what we see is we can see this downward move, but we can also see where it gapped up last night, and that hasn't been filled yet. Now markets like to fill gaps, or at least try and attempt to. So if that's the case, it's this level that is predetermined becomes a good point. And that's kind of the basis. A lot of the time it's just basic stuff, guy. It's just reading the market, seeing what you think it's going to do, and then react to it. It's that simple. Now what we can do here, down on a 5-minute chart, I could move that up to, say, this black line here, put that there. And now follow the price with this order that's underneath. Why? Well, it's all about getting better pricing, guys. And it sometimes winds me up when I see X marks the spot, because it doesn't. What you need is an idea, and then you work from that idea. Now my idea here is it's to the downside. I'm expecting it to sell off, and I just want the better price, and then I want to stage in as best I can. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run the trade out. But basically what I'm going to do is, because that's gone green and it's going to close off shortly, I'm just going to leave my price there. But every green candle that closes, I'll follow up and see if it clips this. Then once it's in, I'm happy to stage up to probably around this yellow line. So there'll be some orders up to there, and then down into this yellow line down here, which is where the gap is. And what I'll be looking for is either a straight slam down into it or my wages of 200 quid, whichever comes first. But if I don't get 200 quid, I won't cry about it either, as long as I've followed the process. Hope that makes sense. Anyway, let me run this out. Okay guys, I need the camera to do a bit of work. This is going to plan. I'm quite happy with it, so I'll come back to it in a couple of hours and let you know what's going on. Catch you in a bit. Okay guys, job's done. Killed it off. Why? Because it's 7:30 at night. I want to spend a bit of time downstairs because I've been here since early morning. It's been a busy all day, and also I've kind of got an exit signal here, and it is turning. But what's happened? Well, I got paid very well just for holding my nerve and following the plan. Simple stuff. So that's it for today. Again, patience prevailed, because without patience, you lost. And I saw what was waiting. Had to wait a long time for it to play out. Then when it came into play, I had to wait even longer for it to continue and pay me. Just one of them days, guys. Just one of them days. But smashed my target. More than happy. Anyway, do it all again tomorrow. And if you're interested in what I do drop into the description. You'll find all the links, and you'll be most welcome in the Scruffy Squad. So as always, guys, trade well, keep your risk managed, and above all, do what you love, and the money will follow. See you all in the next one.